Parshas בחוקותי תשפ"ד. Let's go directly into the psukim. Interesting shiur today. Not so difficult. So let's go right into it. Okay, everyone knows the beginning of the parasha. I was taking it, middle of the brachas. Im בחוקותי תלכו. If you follow my mitzvahs, shetiyu amelim b'Torah. Rashi says that we have to toil in Torah. And then the first bracha is v'nosati gishmirchem be'itam. I will give your rains on time, because Eretz Yisrael is not valleys, it's mountains, so it relies upon the rain. And after that, the second bracha starts, v'nosati shalom ba'aretz, and I will give peace on earth. Ushchaftem ve'ein machri. You will sleep and nothing will scare you. Ve'ishbati chaya ra'a min ha'aretz. I will eliminate, eradicate wild animals from the land. Ve'cherev lo yisavor be'atzechem. And a sword will not cross your land. Okay. V'nosati shalom ba'aretz. I will give peace on earth. Rashi explained, according to the Sifra, it's great to give us bounty, wealth and everything, but unless there is peace, there is nothing. Having plentiful while having war is not a solution. So therefore, says Rashi, the pasuk starts here v'nosati shalom, because shalom is, when there is shalom, all the brachas are included with shalom. Very good. I'm buying this. If there is peace on earth, what is the soul doing here? Why should we go to sleep and be afraid? It should have been the opposite. V'nosati shalom ba'aretz, you want to put it? Fine, put it at the end of the pasuk, and you prepare us that you're not going to fear, there's not going to be wild animals, and no more sword. Why? Because there's shalom. But once you say shalom first, and then you're telling me, oh, also, by the way, you will not go to bed with fear of enemies, of anyone. Why? Why should I fear? It's shalom. This peace. Like at the time when the Beis Hamikdash was standing, everybody was scared to even start with the Jews. So either you put it at the end of the pasuk and this pasuk makes sense, or you want to put it at the beginning, then erase all the rest of the pasuk. It doesn't make sense. And the proof of this is, and you will pursue your enemy. But I thought there was peace. When there's peace, there's no enemies. And if there are peace, and we have the Beis Hamikdash that everybody was fearful to come and start with the Jews, nobody will dare even approach the frontiers of Eretz Yisrael. These two psukim contradict each other. If there are still enemies, there are no peace. If there is peace, then there's no enemies. But you cannot have them both. And it keeps on the pasuk after Verotvu mikem chamisha meya. Yeah, you will pursue them. So you see, there are still enemies. In other words, there is no peace. Even when you get the bracha of Shalom from Shamayim, it's not complete. What's going on? very quickly, we see the same paradox here on this passage. We don't need to go into other psukim. I'm just going to go one more and Venosati mishkani besoichecha. You're all righteous, you're all learning Torah, you're all doing the mitzvahs. The Baruch Hu is going to put the Mishkan in Beis Hamikdash amongst the Jews. Velo isig al nafshi eschem. And my soul won't be disgusted by you. One second. We're talking about righteous people. You're talking to S-bags? Yes, you use that language. HaKadosh Baruch Hu dislikes them and so forth. Tigal, it's translated by disgusted. When someone feels he's so disgusted that he's ready to vomit, that's the tigal. How can you say the extreme Mila, the extreme feature of HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be amongst the Bnei Yisrael. But you tell them, Anna, what should you, what have we done? What even this threat? Everyone is righteous to the point that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to come. Whichever pasuk you take here is like these brachas, the language of the psukim. You take, for instance, let's go back here. I'll give you two examples. V'cherev lo yisavor be'atzechem. There will be no sword in your land. And here it says, V'naflu lifnechem lecharev. So you'll have to kill them. So there are swords. But you just told me there's no sword. But these people, how did they come?
In your land, there's no sword. But
What
outside
do you
your
mean in
land,
there's no sword.
In Eretz Yisrael, that's how I learned it. Meaning, there's no sword inside Eretz Yisrael. They won't come to pass.
I understand they're not going to come. Lo savor, they're not going to come to pass. But so where am I killing them? They came to us. They came to our frontiers. They want to invade us, and we go after them. So this bracha here, that really doesn't make sense. There should be no need of sword. Like after Mashiach, there's not going to be anything. If you're telling me that the level of the Beis Hamikdash on earth is HaKadosh Baruch Hu residing among us, so we are in Yemei Mashiach. We are in this time when there was no wars or nothing. And by the way, when the Bnei Yisrael had in Bais Rishon, nobody came. Nobody came. So who are these people here that come while everyone is righteous and when HaKadosh Baruch Hu is amongst the Jews? Who dares even tempt HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Let's go into the shiur.
Well, that sounds like a Amalek.
Sorry? You don't know that you just said the words of Isaiah. Actually, it's not the Zohar who says that. It's the Sisei Kohen. It makes a difference between Oyev and Soine. Oyevechem is always Amalek. But Amalek didn't come. Doesn't make a difference. Amalek was too scared. He got a beating with Yeshua, and that was it. He took a lesson for a lot of years until Bnei Yisrael. The way it works in the war, in the, you know, that game the children have, you know, when one is up, one is down. When Yerushalayim is up, Rome is down. When Rome is up, like now, Yerushalayim is down. So you're never going to have both sides up at the same time. They cannot have the guts. V'nosati moirech bilvavam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will put fear in their hearts, so they're not going to come to us. So what you find me now, I'm going to pursue these enemies. What are they? Fictive enemies? The Midrash says, Midrash Tanchuma, the second one in this Parasha. He says, the Baraka is explaining, in Bechukoisai Telechu, then what is notion? V'achaltem lachmechem lasoiva. You will eat your bread, and you will be filled up. 1 second. HaKadosh Baruch Hu promises us that the land will produce. The Midrash says that the grain at the time of the Beis Hamikdash, the grain of the wheat were like a fig, like this. Now you're telling me I'm going to be on a diet. I'm going to eat a little bit and I'm not going to need to eat more. Why not? Why not taking advantage of this bounty? What HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to make it lechem upon him? I understand that the Kohen was eating the kazais and he was full. So there was enough for all the Kohanim because there was only 12 breads. But here we have what to fill earth with all this food. Why giving this? But the biggest question, that's a side question. The biggest question is, we saw from the word of Rashi that Shalom is keneged kol habrachos. And Rashi get it from the Sifra, meaning also a Midrash, also Tanaim. In that case, why is the Midrash Tanchuma going to a side bracha instead of taking the main bracha? The main bracha being Shalom, the side bracha being that your food will satisfy you. No. Then you will have Shalom on earth, which is very valuable. Jews, we pride the Shalom. Hashem Hashem Shalom. Shalom is the biggest bracha because it contains all the other brachas in it. So why do you skip the bracha, the pasuk of Shalom, the pasuk of beating the enemies, and you just want to really maybe the least important of the brachas, which is you will be satisfied while eating? Very, very interesting. Second question, and I want to take you back. You need to see that in the words. Rashi proves his point, and so it's written in the Sifra, that how do we know that Shalom is so important? It says, Yoitzer Oyer, Uvoire Choshech, Oise Shalom. Yoitzer Boire Oise. Shalom is keneged Yoitzer Uvoire Choshech, Oise Shalom. The Asiyah is Shalom. The truth is, that's how we said it in the Tefillah by the Yoitzer. Now, if you take the pasuk in Yeshaya, I think you believe it is. The pasuk is in Yeshaya, yes. Yoitzer oer uvoire choshech oise shalom uvoire ra. That's the pasuk. Rashi, why did you forget about the pasuk? Same question on the Sifra, why you didn't want to mention the language of the pasuk as it's written by the Navi, and you went to take a language that's written by Anshe Knesset Agdoy. Obviously, Rashi is trying to hint us, and so the Sifra, and Rashi did it, and Rashi created a huge tumult in the Rishonim. Why not mentioning exactly the words of the pasuk? I'm not gonna take you through the tumult of the Rishonim. I just want to, go down our logic. We're talking about Shalom. The first one is the Riva. And he brings that question, Beshem the Chizkuni. He says the Chizkuni had this question exactly as we asked it on Rashi. The Ibn Ezra, and he brings from the Ibn Ezra that the pshat of the pasuk and why Rashi should have brought that pasuk, because why did Yeshaya, the reason Yeshaya exposed the Shalom or put it right next to Beirera, Oise Shalom uVeirera, because it's either or. If you have Shalom, then you cannot have Ra. But if you have Ra, you cannot have Shalom. It's like day and night. Choshech, Shalom, Ra. So you already see from the words of the Navi and deciphering from the language of the Rishonim that the opposite of Shalom is not machlokes. The opposite of Shalom is Ra. Bad things happen. Doesn't have to be that there is a machlokes. Machlokes is the extreme going already to the other side. However, the lack of Shalom brings Ra. And he says, for that reason, he would have brought that pasuk. Very understandable. This the Ibn Ezra here gives a logic which defies any question. Because we see the beginning of the pasuk talk about two opposites, day and night, peace and bad. And the chiddush is bad is the opposite of peace. So, and the Batanora also had this question and, kind of was telling what could be the reason. So he said first that since we say it in the tefillah, it has the power of a pasuk. When the Batanora answers like this, in other words, the question is a damn good question. And we see that Rashi brought it that way, and the Sifra brought it that way. What are they trying to hide? Behind this little change that he did. The Midrash Rabbah says, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says the three matanas that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave to the world. First matana, Torah. Vayiten el Moshe. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave it. When it says Vayiten, the chiddush of Rabbi Yochanan, Vayiten is a lashon matana. Second one is the rain. Vayiten oisam yikia shamayim. Again, we have Venasati gishmechem beitam, and I will give. I will give when it means I will give you as a present.
Shabbos?
No, the lights. The lights, three things. Shabbos was given only to the Yidden. This was given, you're right. Shabbos was not given to, the Torah was not given to the Goy. So no, my answer would have been wrong. So Torah, Me'oiros, and Geshamim. These are the three matanas. The lights, the Torah, because the Torah brings also good to the whole entire world. I'm right on this. Because when Bnei Yisrael, the Zohar says, when Bnei Yisrael learn Torah, automatically they create a shefa for the whole entire world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends bounty even for the good. So we have Torah, Me'oros, the sun and the moon, and Venosati Gishmechem Be'itam, and Rabbi Simon says there's a fourth one, the Shalom, because it says Venosati Shalom Ba'aretz. Very interesting. You know, you can kvetch, why didn't Rabbi Yochanan bring Shalom if you're already going with the fact that every time it says a Lashon Vayiten, it means Matana, Nosati is Lashon Vayiten. And that's how Rabbi Simon deducts it. So why did you refrain? I'm not going there. But someone wants to start thinking and philosophizing, what's the machlokes here between Rabbi Simon and Rabbi Yochanan? There is. I want to understand. Still, I want to understand from Rabbi Yochanan, why don't you hold? Because obviously Rabbi Yochanan, a bigger Talmid of Hillel HaZaken, you know, himself from Shmai V'Avtalyon, we're talking about, they knew all the languages. Hillel taught to Rabbi Yochanan the language of the Malachim, the Srafim, the storm, the trees, the Shadim, Shidas, Rucha, Israel, everything. He knew the language of every creature. You forget the Shalom? As big as you are, you forget the Shalom? It says, Venosati Shalom. You must have a reason why you didn't bring Shalom. The Zohar Parashat בחוקותי here, interestingly, we're talking about the brachas, the Torah. The Zohar talks about totally different subject. The one who gives tzedakah to an ani, because the ani holds on to the dinim, and when the Shechina is applying dinim, it's called tzedek, justice. Meaning there is a reason why the mazel will be rude with that person. And that's what it says, as Zohar learns, tefila le'ani kiyato, if the Zohar has many pshatim on this, to say that the tefila of the ani in, I don't remember where is that Zohar, the Barim, I can't remember which Parasha. I think it's in Pinchas. Tefila le'ani kiyato if velifnei Hashem yishpoch sichot. David HaMelech wanted his tefillah to be like a tefillah of the ani. Why, says the Zohar? Because the tefillah of the ani, when the malachim approach it, Baruch tell them, no. This one is me. Everybody's tefillah is going through up to with malachim. Malachim bring it, they check it first if it's complete. Everything goes through. You probably don't know. Someone does an action in this world. Where is the gate? We have to go through the gate. Where is the gate? The gate is up there, somewhere in Shamayim. And that's where the gate is. And because this is Shara Shamayim in Shamayim, we don't know what's happening. Where is the gate? I want to know where is the gate. I want to know, that I have to direct myself to that gate. You start Shmoyne Esrei by saying, Eloi ke Avraham, Eloi ke Yitzchak, Veloi ke Yaakov. Where are they buried? In Masa Machpelah, right? Masa Machpelah is Shara Shamayim. Yes, there is Shara Shamayim by on the Har HaBayis, on the Makom HaKadosh, the Kodesh HaKodashim, it's a different entrance. But the normal path for people like us, normal people, it's marasamachpeid. So when someone davens, first to receive the tefillah is Adam Arisha. He smells it. If the word missing, doesn't get it. Check it back out. If he likes it, he wakes up. Abraham, he says, this is the tefillah your son made. Abraham looks even deeper. Smells good. To Yitzchak. Yitzchak to Yaakov. Yaakov to Malachim on the other side. You can take it in. They check another time to see, and otherwise it's still locked there. He went through the wall, but it's still blocked there. But when the ani davens, doesn't go that way. It goes straight up. To the point that Zera says it's very important to daven in a place where there's a niyam in a minute. Just for you to know. But at least we have a good concept of how things are moving, from this world to the next world. Everything we do, Kriya Shema, go through, especially Kriya Shema, through Marasa Machpelah. There's no way to bring our Kriya Shema to the other side. So now, the guy on the outside can do Kriya Shema, and you see a tzaddik with a white beard and everything, and he looks tzaddik yesod oilam. But when Adam Arishan smells it, he sees this is a nasty Kriya Shema because it's all fake. The person has all his intent is to attract himself covet. And this is even worse than not doing Kriya Shema. Why? Because you're saying Kriya Shema, you're making the yichud of HaKadosh Baruch Hu for your own purpose. Oh my gosh. So you desecrate the name of Hashem and the Shekhinah for your own benefit. That person is finished. So let's go back to our ani. Now we know that tefillah. So the Zohar this time is explaining tefillah not literally as a prayer, tefillah as one of the tefillin. Tefillah le'ani ki ya'atoif, it's tefillah shel yad. Who is it keneged? The tefillah shel yad is keneged what? It's keneged the malchus, the keser of the malchus. So this tells me that David HaMelech hinted us that the place where the ani is attached to is to the Shekhinah. But in which side and how, at what time of the Shekhinah? When the Shekhinah has nothing and it's dark with no light. So the ani is light, he is dark with no light. And that's why the Gemara says in the Dorim that he is considered dead. A person who's an ani is considered dead. Why? Because he is attached to the dead place, to the death valley. Amazing. So the other guy is not attached to the death valley? No, he's not. That's the reason why he can get wealth, he can get a lot of things, because he's attached to the Etz Chaim. And since he's attached in the Etz Chaim, so you have life. And in order to have life, you need money. So the Etz Chaim is providing, but the one who's attached to the Ilana de Moisa, to the tree of death, which is called the Shekhinah, and the Shekhinah is in mode where, like in Golus, it has nothing on its own. Whoever is attached to it only has dini. However, when a person gives money, the usher gives money to the ani, he attaches him to the tree of life. Because why? He gives him life. And at that point, he's making Shalom on top, and Shalom is reflected back down here. In other words, Shalom is not a creation. Shalom is a condition. Shalom is a reaction. Shalom is a result. In other words, when you see the Torah, we have it all the time with us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave it to us. You see the sun and the moon. Every day they're here. You see the rain comes also, periodically, but it comes when earth is thirsty. So it's with us. Shalom is not with us. The only one that's not exactly the same is Shalom. Now you understand why? Because Shalom is the how would I call it? The union of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and his Shekhinah. When a person gives money to an ani, he creates in Shamayim Shalom Bayis. Zohar says these words, actually, it's not my words. He creates Shalom Bayis. HaKadosh Baruch Hu leaves Kaviyachal with the Nukva, with the Shekhinah, and that reason, since there is up there, nothing can remain up there without coming down. And therefore, it's coming down. So now when Shlomo HaMelech says, U'tzedakah tatzil mimoves, that tzedakah saves from death. You understand? It's a reward for what the person has done. The ani without the money, he was without money because he was attached to the midah of death. Came the usher and gave him some shefa, some bracha. So he detached him from the place of death and attached him to the place of life. And you will, I'm going to amaze you when you're going to see all this falling into place. It's amazing. It's amazing how the chachma of the Amoraim, the Tanaim, the Amoraim, unbelievable how everything is measured and put in a place which is exactly made for it. The Zohar finishes there and says, when a person gives money to an ani, it's called tzedakah. What's the power of tzedakah? Tzedakah is the yesod. It's kudsha barichu, is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we said when the malchus has nothing, it's considered. It's called tzedek, just justice. I want to show you something for you to understand and then lock it up in your brain. If we take the word malchus, and we're going to write it in full, mem, lamed, lamed, taf, vav, saf. I'm going to remove the word malchus, which is the outside. Here it is. Okay, I'm going to remove it. It means the first letter, the Rashi tables. I'm just going to keep the inside. Why? Because I want to know what's inside the malchus. Just want to know what it's made of inside. Yamsuf, turbulent waters, white waters. You see that inherently the dinim are attached to the malchus. It's its very being of the malchus is to have dinim. Why? Because she is the gate where the chitzonim attach themselves to. When Bnei Yisrael down here are sinning, automatically they have a right to go take the shepherd that was supposed to go to the Bnei Yisrael and take it for themselves. In other words, the avla that a person does when he sins, it's not simply sinning, not listening to a mitzvah, lava, asir. He enables the other side to come and get the nitzoitzos of Kedusha, which is the shefa and the bracha coming down for the Yidden. Instead of coming back down for the Yidden, the chitzonim, the other side, the dark side, has taken it, and now they have fuel to be alive for much longer. The guy is mechaye, the sinner, the choite is mechaye, the other side. That's what we learn. And when you do tzedakah, you put the midah of Shalom, which is the yesod, with the midah of eretz. Venosati Shalom ba'aretz. Does it say Beretz Yisrael? No. Ba'aretz. Why inside the aretz? Because inside the aretz, it's inside the malchus. This is where the dinim are. So when Shalom comes to this, I think I'm going to show you this a different way. How much is Shalom art? I don't even remember myself.
667.
Huh?
667.
Correct. 667. I remember. Now, if I go here and I do 667, I go to my vote. So this, I'm going to put it down, equals all the Yehudim in Shamayim. Sorry. Here is the path of the Shefa. Kel is Chesed. Keye is in the Keser. Straight down. Kel Keye, when we have the Shem Kel, it's always with another name, it's a Yichud. A yichud, what it means, there is a union up in Shamayim, and this union is producing bracha. Kel Keye starting the Keser. Look how high the Tzedakah creates what kind of a union, like on Mincha of Shabbos, in Arich Anpin. Now it goes down to Kel Hashem, which is a yichud of Olam HaYetzirah, we know. So, but now I'm talking about the yichudim on the way down, the Shefa. Then it goes into the Yesod, which is Shakai, straight down. Then it goes into Kel, the Adnos in Olam Asiyah, which is the Malchus, but he also cleans up Elohim. Elohim is the Dinim. These two last names are in the Dinim. That's what the union of Shalom Aretz is, cleaning up all the Dinim from the world. Okay, what happened if the guy who gave the money is a sinner? We'll see. We'll see. But here you see the importance of this tzedakah and what it does. Now you start understanding there's a connection between tzedakah and shalom. Maybe a small, maybe a big, maybe a huge one. We'll see. The midrash, it's a midrash in Vayikra Rabbah, say something hafid. If he won't say it by the Tanaim, no one can say that. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it says about him, Noisen lechem lechol basa. So why did he give to the ani? HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I recognize it's my duty. But now the Asher preceded me and gave it to him. So I owe what I was supposed to give to the ani. Now I owe in many folds that to the Asher. Since I'm indebted to the Asher, and it says Eved ish loive Eved loive ish malve, the feeling of a borrower is like he's a slave to the one to the lender. Kaviyachal HaKadosh Baruch Hu says upon himself that I'm indebted. I don't want to say those words, but you understand what I mean. What it means, a loive, a borrower, is indebted to the point that he feels like an eved to the malve, to the lender, and the lender being the asher not yet. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is forced to return.
That's a Gemara in Brachos.
Good. So the Mekar here, Gemara is Amiran. He is Tanaim, and whenever I can learn a Torah from Tanaim, obviously it has a bigger. So when a person gives a pruta to the ani, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give him this in 10 folds, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu only works with 10 spheroids. Everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives is 10 folds. Now, given the intention he added, this will add, because we know those who come on the shiur on Shabbos, you have 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So you can have all one, and the number of zeros depend on your input inside the mitzvah. In other words, the mitzvah is the kli, giving the money, but the oil, the real value of the mitzvah is your intent. It would seem the opposite, right, in our world. I gave it to him, he needed $500. I gave him $1,000. Just leave me alone now and everything. That's the guy. That guy get money like this? Yes, for sure. He did a very big mitzvah. But he did a mitzvah that remains in Olam Asiyah. I want to get rid of the ani. He was nudging me. I doubled what he needed, and I gave it to him. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will reward that person in this way. There was no intent, and obviously no intent for the Shekhinah. There was no intent for the Yichud, and no intent for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore, this mitzvah never took off. It's still done in this world. This type of mitzvah is paid. Since the person has desecrated the mitzvah and made it a lowly mitzvah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, you decide your own price. I'm going to pay you here. However, the person who elevates a mitzvah and make it very spiritual, the more spiritual he makes it, the more intent he puts into it, the more zeros are added after the one. So the minimum he's going to receive is 10-fold, but he could receive 100-fold. He could receive 1,000-fold. It always has to be a multiple of 10. That's the only difference. What's his reward? His reward is, it says in the pasuk in Tehillim, Yishmerehu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will protect him, Vichayehu, and he will give him life. Life is only in the center, right? That's what we said. The Etz Chaim is in the center, where Keser is on top and Malchus is at the bottom. We're not in Chesed. We're not Chochmah, Chesed, Netzach. We're not in the Gvuras, Bina, Hoid, and Bina, Gvura, Hoid, Baga, Bina, Gvura, Hoid. We are in what we call the Dasi. You know how Israelis call the Frum people Dasi? Dasi is the line of Das, Tiferes, Yesod. That's what is Dasi. Someone who has a clean mind, clean Tiferes in the heart, and the Yesod is clean. Everything is clean, straight up. So if someone has a clean Das, will never say a bad word. Now, we're going to understand something. I'm going to bring it a little bit now, but really I want to emphasize on it, and that's the core of the shiur, is when HaKadosh Baruch Hu says he will give him life, this is a huge word. I will give him life means that I will attach that person, because that person with his sins, he attached himself to the Malach HaMaves, to the Ilana de Moisa, the tree of death. And because he's able to elevate himself above human, who wants everything to himself, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'm going to detach him from the tree of death and attach him to the tree of life. If we break down the pasuk, that's what happened. Why? This is in reward because he detached himself. The ani was a mace. Now that he has panasa, is a chag. You give life to someone else, you deserve life. Now you understand. We understand the language of Shlomo HaMelech. Tzedakah tatzil mimaves. Tzedakah saves from death. How is tzedakah saving from death? It's tzedakah tatzil mimaves equals 1,221. 1,220. Correct. It's an amazing result. 1,221 is 11 times Aleph. Aleph, Lamed, Pe. 11 times 111. Where is Aleph? In the Kesef. In other words, it's not the other midas, it's not chesed that mashpia, it's not the bina with the tshuva, it's not the chokhmah with its holiness and everything. No, the kesef. You made a mitzvah tzedakah, you are in the kesef. What did the Malach HaMaves, which secret revealed the Malach HaMaves to Moshe Rabbeinu when he was in Shamayim to get the Torah? HaKadosh Baruch Hu told all the Malachim, Moshe Rabbeinu will receive the Torah. It befits that everyone gives a gift for the Simcha. That the Torah now will be amongst Bnei Israel. And they will be Mekayim the mitzvahs. So each one of you should give a gift to Moshe Rabbeinu. They all give a gift. But the Midrash says what the Malach HaMaves gave to Moshe Rabbeinu. What she, I should say, what she gave is the secret of the Ketores. That whenever you are in a dear situation, things, you see clouds coming over you and they're very dark. And you say Parashat Ketores, the way it's supposed to be said. On the cloud. With talis and tefillin. And so forth, you're unleashing a power of the Torah of the Kesef. And therefore, Even the Malach HaMaves cannot stay there. Oh, I have a kvittel that came on a Shana Rabbah that this year I have to take this guy and the time is approaching. Sorry, it just gave tzedakah. That kvittel is being canceled. How? I'm gonna explain it. Because it's not shaykh. Something doesn't make sense. How can HaKadosh Baruch Hu reward and take close, putting close to him, to guard him, when this guy is a sewer, is full of avoidance? How is it possible? The Zohar in the Hashmotes are the missing part of the Zohar. I don't know exactly the story of the Hashmotes, but you all know that at the time of the Rishonim, part of the Gemara had to be removed. Which Sefer I just went across, he was missing something you could tell, and I found the thing. He was thinking about the Inquisition, and he says, this is how you recognize the place. I don't remember where it is. Anyway. So on the Shemitah, the sixth, it's exactly the same thing. The 6th year, prepare for the 7th. Yesod to Malchus. Malchus has nothing. 7th year, we saw last week, we don't sow the fields, we don't harvest. There's a lot of melachos that we don't do. How is the Shefa coming to the 7th, to the people, through the 6th? So when you do tzedakah, you trigger the yesod. You're not triggering the malchus, you're triggering the yesod. You go above it. And that's the language he says. That's why I'm going to show you this inside, because this is the key of the key, and we'll be able to understand a lot of the question we've asked will be answered like in no time. So I just have to go in my writings because I didn't have much time. You know, when I'm late on preparing all the Marim Kumis of the shiur, you know, how was my day? I don't know where it is. Let me take this because this is going to become very important. This is the pasuk. Ziru lachem tzedakah. Look at the words of Shlomo HaMelech. Even though I don't have to go be medayik in the pasuk, but I want to show you. So for you, tzedakah. 1 second. I can understand the first 2 words, but the dikduk in the 3rd word is wrong. So for you, as a tzedakah. In other words, the tzedakah that you make it is for you. But that for sowing. But kitzru, harvest, lefi chesed. According to how much chesed you put in it. In other words, the Zohar says, when a person gives tzedakah, and he gives it besimcha, that he wants to be mesaken the Shechina, that he wants to at that point, he's filling up his vessel called the tzedakah, and he's making at the end of the day tzedakah to himself. Because we know tzedakah tatzil mimaves, he's going to deserve to be attached to the Etz HaChaim, you know, and so forth. So therefore, the tzedakah is really for you. Even though you can explain the pasuk bepashtus, Zero lachem tzedakah, I mean, just sow and do a lot of tzedakah. No, that doesn't work for me because then you don't need the word lachem. When I didn't say it last week, I could have mentioned last week because it's in the Zohar. When on the 7th year, because the Malchus has nothing and relies totally upon the Yesod, upon the Tzedakah, it's called, in the Zohar, it calls it bestowed. Many Pirushim have a big problem with this. The Seiya is Samechei. I'm going to write it here. If you take Samechei, like Sphira Sa'imer, now you know why we say Sphira Sa'imer equals Aleph Dalet Nun Yud. Then you have Aleph, which is the Kesser. In other words, you raise the Shechina into Arichanpin. What's in Arichanpin? What's, for those who are Shabbos on the shiur, you understand that very well, that we know that the Chochmah and the Bina, which is Abba and Ima, arrive below the beard of Arichanpin. The beard of Arichanpin is exposed. What comes out of there? The Yud Gimel Midah. Kel, Rachum, Vechanun, Erech, Chapayim, Verav, Chesed, Ve'emes, and so forth. All from the beard. The Yud Gimel Midos are the beard of Arichanpin. To call him a different way, in the Kesed. Now, nobody has beard here. So you have a little bit of the jaws, or whatever you want to call it, the cheeks are exposed. And the Oir Ein Sof comes from there. Again, those Shabbos in the shiur, you know that the Adam Kadmon is going through the Keser. So now you have Atik Yomin, and we know it comes out through the eyes and the ears and the thing, but the Ein Sof comes through the cheeks. We'll see a bit more this Shabbos in the shiur. If you take now base sale equals, now that you understand, how does a person destroy his house? When I'm here, you know, I'm going to teach you that too. Why not? How does a person destroy his house? How do you call a bais? A house, a bais. Now, this is the bais of a Shechina. How does a person destroy a bais? This is fundamental, beyond fundamental. That's why otherwise I would not even mention it. How much is bais? 412, right? That destroys a house. Most Shalom bias problems come back to this. One of them is about tithing. And this destroys a house. Now that I mentioned that, this base Seah equals 478. 478 equals Kel. So we have two Kel on the Yud Gimel Midos, one on each side. If you write it in full, is Aleph Lamed. It's basic this. You need to know that. Which equals to 185. There are two of them, so both temples have the Shem Kel times 2 equals 370. The Shin Ayin Nehorin Kadishin, the pure lights, the Kedusha, pure Kedusha coming out, like exactly the Shas Rotzain, which is Mincha on Shabbos. In other words, the Tzedakah does bring. So the Zohar gives us funny name like this Beiseya, but he tells us, and I'm still missing, right? 478. Add me this. Yud, K, Vav, K, Shem Ab. With Shema. Yud, K, Vav, K. Together, all this is 470. When there is the Oilamis, there is a Yichud. Abba ve'ima, so the Yudke, Vavke, the Chochma, with Kutsha Berichu. Meaning not only the Shechina was elevated, but also Kutsha Berichu was elevated to the Chochma, to the Makom what we call Kodesh. It doesn't go as high as the Malchus. Exactly like when the Mashiach will come, Mashiach ben David will take over Mashiach ben Yosef. He will elevate himself higher than, because Malchus is Mashiach ben David. Mashiach ben Yosef is Yesod. So Mashiach ben Yosef is more important. He should stay forever. And this, no. It's gonna, here also we elevate all the way. Why it's important to say that? Because the Midrash tells us what is the reward? What is the reward of the one who gives tzedakah when his nefesh would want to go out? HaKadosh Baruch Hu will tap it back, get back in. The lashon of the Midrash is amazing, amazing, amazing. Why? What happened that this person's nefesh is a young guy? Why should he die? Okay, he has sinned. Now we understand. We know that he's the Malach HaMaves is Mekatrig. The Zohar is much more specific on this, and the Gemara in Psachim Kuf Yud Beis speaks about it through a little story. One time, Rabbi Chanina, it's Rabbi Chanina. Rabbi Chanina ben Doisa was walking, and a ruach, it's a lily, went behind him and took dirt from under his feet and told him, "You're lucky that your name is Chanina." And they say in Shomayim that watch out Chanina and watch his Torah, that they like you so much. Otherwise, I would have harmed you. So he turned around and he said, "If I am so important in Shomayim, I forbid you to ever come to inhabited place in the world." Right away, she went on her knees crying, "Please give me at least the Wednesday night and the Friday night." The story is he agreed. V'hishbati chaya mina aretz. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, "I will destroy the wild animal from earth," says the Zohar, it's her. It's her. We're not talking about wild animals. There's no harm with wild animals. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created them. V'rachma b'kol ma'asav. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is merachem on all these brias. It doesn't say chayes rois, it's the chayera. The chayera is this malach hamaves. Wants to take the neshama of someone because of his sin before his time, but he did say tzedakah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives him back his life. Still doesn't answer our question, original question. How can he get close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? It's not possible. He's full of sins. And the proof is that he's so full that he has to die. So how is it possible? When this person is about to lose his nefesh, it's considered he went out. It's a payment for his sins. Tzedakah works on twofold. Not only it will enable him to regain his life, but he will also enable the counting of what he went through as if he paid for the avoidance and he's clear. Now he can go next to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What's the consequence of this? He deserves Shalom. Now you understand, Rabbi Yochanan, why he didn't say that Shalom is a matana? Because Shalom is as much as is Boirei Shalom, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Boirei Shalom for a person as he gives tzedakah. It's not a bria in the world. Otherwise, the world would never have a war. It's a bria per the person, and therefore it's not mentioned. Therefore, there's no machloites. When Isi says that Venosati is also a matana, yes, because it includes all the brachas, and the person only did tzedakah, was mechayev. And still HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives him in matana. That's the hint in Venosati Shalom Ba'aretz. That's the hint. Now we're gonna see it, and if you take Shalom Tzedakah, because Tzedakah triggers Shalom, I want to know what is there. So Tzedakah Shalom equals 575, exactly Yetzer Hara. The Zohar always touch when we say the word Yetzer Hara is the male and the female. In other words, what we have touched in the Zohar, it's exactly the two effects. One on the male, because there is a mechila. One against the female, that his life is being returned. And that's exactly what happens. And the fact is that Chayara is Rachmi. So now we're going to go back and finish the share on the thing, because we understand that this person, I just want for those who are not very familiar yet with everything here. So they're both here in the dinim, especially this one, the Lag BaOmer one, the Hoid of a Hoid, where Shem Bar Yochal was Lag BaOmer, is Hoid Shebehoid, dinim of the dinim, the worst dinim. On Shabbos, I'll explain you the inyan. They move to the center, Rachmi, because when there's Chayara equals 298. It removes Rachamim from the person. So if you remove Chayara, what do you have? Rachamim. We said in the pasuk, and I'm going to finish on this. Ziru lachem nitzdaka. At the end of the day, it's for you too, right? That's how we touched it. And I'll tell you, this is emes. If you look on the Zohar and you know how to learn it, this equals 622. Equals 2 times ish. Which are the ani and the asher. The ani was attached to the tree of death because he has a din on it. The asher is because of his avoinos. These two people, what they do, so they've been drawn by the rachim. They go right in the middle. And I said before, it goes all the way to Arichanpin to the Yud Gimel Midos de Rachamim. I do. No. Kitzru lefichos. Someone can do me the gematria. I forgot what it is. I have to research in the document to understand what it is. He's very tired tonight. The kitzru lefichas chesed. I don't remember what it is.
588.
588. Thank you, Menachem, again. Now I'm going to go into, and I'm going to start searching here. You're getting into my life here. No, that's not. This is on the preface with the subject. I said it last week. I can't remember if I would be able to put out Behar. I'll owe you this one for Shabbos. I don't remember. It happens to so with this we have at least, you know, I don't remember if I would go. There's another way to find it. If I go here, he remembers 78. No, funny things are whatever. These are things that I went through. So if we take back here on the pasuk, Venosati Shalom Ba'aretz, it's only the beginning of the Indian. In other words, yes, Shalom, but this Shalom depends on what you have put in your tzedakah. You can have Shalom with the light paint, darker paint, strong paint, with gold, Shalom with gold. But you can have Shalom with silver. You can have Shalom with copper. You can have Shalom with just iron. That depends on you. And that's the message. The Tana, the Talmud of Hillel HaZaken, there's many more diukim in the pasuk that we could go up to, but there is no need to make it's clear enough. Every time you give tzedakah with two hands, 5, you have 5 fingers on the right hand. You have 5 fingers of the left hand. Hey, hey, that actually looks like a hey. The tzedakah that you hold in the middle is the yud. So I have a yud, K, my arm, vav, and a hey. So I'm doing my tzedakah and I'm meyached the yud, K, vav, K. What am I doing? I'm doing that the yichud of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and His Shechina. The name is complete. When you say complete, how do you say in Aramaic? Shlama. When you call peace, how do you say in Aramaic? Shlama. Shalom is from the word shleimus. When you complete the name of Hashem, therefore HaKadosh Baruch Hu will complete the person, and a person cannot be completed until he has Shalom. Therefore, that's the inyan. And when a person gives tzedakah, should have, and the chesed that we have to do, as we saw last week, is for the Shechina. We're not trying to gain anything out of tzedakah. Yes, we understand that the poor person, we will help him because he's attached to the Shechina, and by elevating that ani down here, we elevate the ani up there. And since we elevate the ani up there, that's the inyan. When we learn on Shavuos by night, you'll understand what happened to the Shechina between beginning of the night to the end of the night, and why so important what's going to happen in the morning, and the Shefa comes down to the person. Mazel tov to the Wilwick family to in less than 24 hours for the wedding of their daughter, the sister. It's Hashem. The bracha should be nishpa to them all the way. That should be zoiche to the bracha of zibud for everyone easily. Bracha v'atzlacha bepanasa ma'aseidim shetishrei bracha bechol ma'asei. And all Am Yisrael, they're looking also the need, the Yeshua, whatsoever it is, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should provide it to them. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu, amen ve'amen. Call to. Have a good Shabbos.
Shkoyach, magnifique.
Thank you.